The Buccaneers didn't make Bucko Bruce walk the plank. In fact, it was a respectful goodbye today at the St. Pete Pier for the symbol of Tampa Bay football for 20 years. Bucko Bruce dies for the same reason new stadiums are born. It's all about revenue. We'll all have to go out and buy the new logo and colors to support our team, and that's the fact of pro sports today. Now, anybody blaming the colors or Bucko and his dramatic plume for the losing seasons ought to be ashamed. Players and coaches win and lose games. The flag flew at half-mast today aboard the HMS Bounty, docked in St. Pete. It was lowered and given to Coach John McKay during the ceremony. Several former Bucs were on hand with comments on the new direction, and the celebration ended with cake served by the swashbucklers. Coach McKay gave his thoughts on the change.
You know, I liked Bruce. I never got to meet him, but I never blamed him for anything. Hell, if we lost, it was me, and if we won, it was the players, and Bruce was just around.
All right, great guy. I love him. 4 games ago.
324 games. Bucko Bruce has been winking at everybody on those Buck helmets. Well, Bucko Bruce is history, and they lowered the flag for the last time on the HMS Bounty. Bucko Bruce is history. The flag was lowered on the HMS Bounty in St. Petersburg and folded into the past. Tony Dungy hands it to John McKay, and McKay says he isn't sad to sign off on an old tradition. He wants a new tradition for this franchise. It's called winning.
Well, I think it's a sad occasion. Old Bruce has been with us a long time, and as I just told some people, I never went off the field saying that damn Bruce lost another report. You know, we lost the game. Bruce didn't have anything to do with it.
Old faces like tight end Jimmy Giles showed up to watch a familiar face disappear.
But I think it would be a good change for them because they need to establish an identity for themselves.
Fans want a new logo, and they want more wins. Simply put, the fans for this team want their cake, and they want to be able to eat it, too. All right, do not move, because at the end of this sportscast, I will show you the new Buck logo. We've got all the elements, and you'll get a preview of what everyone else will see come Wednesday tonight, all right? Pete tonight got a tip, and we now know all the elements and what the Buck logo looks like. There's a flag flying off a saber. We know the flag is burnt orange, and there's a skull and 2 swords and a football, all right? So here it is. Here's the logo, a skull, no eye patch, with a football between the 2 sabers, all flying on a burnt orange flag. It is as close to the real thing as you will see before Wednesday. I vouch for it. 100%.
Wow. It looks pretty good.
I know. It looks pretty good.
It does.
Doesn't it look good? It looks pretty good.
The
I like
burnt
it.
orange, we'll have to see the colors. And
Yeah.
what the T-shirts are going to look like.
Yeah, I'd love to see a T-shirt. It'd be great.
That would be so
Yeah.
good.
I hope you're right, Chip.
I've all right.
Yeah, good sources coming
We're
in.
right on the inside on this one.
Good job.
All right.
Thank you.
You got
Just
it.
try to confuse
You can bring up points that no one else would think of.
Thank
Which is
goodness.
why what you are today.
Excuse me?
We knew it.
Do the sport.
Buccaneer Bruce is history. His feather, his persona, everything about him that he wound up getting blamed for, even though most of it was Hugh Culverhouse's fault, ended today when Bruce got a copy of the home game. And on Wednesday, we will see the new Bucs colors and the new Bucs logo, and Bruce will be a member. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we take you to County Stadium.
Merchandise. We'll talk about that part of the story coming up in just a few minutes. The team colors, the new logo. We've seen that a few times already. It's the first change in team uniforms in 21 years. Team owner Malcolm Glazer unveils the new look during a huge ceremony at the Tampa Convention Center this morning. New colors are red, pewter, and black. Not silver, but pewter, with a little orange still left over. Replacing Bucko Bruce is a waving flag with skull and crossbone swords. And the change is the talk of the Bay Area, already a winner for retailers, too. And for that angle of the story, we got a Fox 13 reporter, Bob Barnard, at One Buck Place. Hi, Bob. Look at that outfit.
Kelly and John, kind of a sucker for the retailers here myself. I've got one of the new shirts, a new hat here. I also want to first show you, though, the marquee above One Buck Place. They have painted it with a burgundy color, fresh coat. It was a fading orange as of yesterday, but today the new color. And I'll tell you what, all the change, the colors, the logo here is a marketing wonder for the Glazers and for the rest of the NFL. It seems to be a big hit with fans.
It's really different, but I like it. I really do.
I like these. I like this style. It's very cool.
What do you think of the logo and the color?
Better than orange. Yeah, I like it.
They're by far the hottest thing going tonight. Sales of anything and everything Buccaneers has registers ringing at this JCPenney's in Tyrone Square Mall.
So it's a good marketing thing for us, the owners.
Everybody's got an opinion about the new look.
It's a lot meaner. I like that. I don't like that wussy orange stuff.
What do you think of the logo and the colors?
I like them. Actually better. The orange was loud.
I think it stinks. I don't like the color scheme at all.
These T-shirts, well, they'll set you back anywhere from $16 to $48 a piece. Cynics among us will wonder how much the Bucs stand to profit from the rush to get these hats and T-shirts. Just how much money goes to the Glazers? Well, the answer is none directly. NFL officials say all 30 teams share equally part of the proceeds from sales of officially licensed merchandise. Last year's take, between $3 and $5 million per team.
We don't mind, buying merchandise so it goes for the money for the teams.
Set up for the Packers and
That means the Bucs profited from the huge demand for Green Bay merchandise following the Packers' Super Bowl win last January.
I should never get to lose with a new logo.
That hurts. Well, if the Bucs continue their losing ways on the gridiron, NFL officials say you will probably see a decline in the popularity of the team's new fashions. The NFL will only reveal the top 10 selling team logos. The Cowboys, Packers, and 49ers are 1, 2, 3. As for the Bucs' late Bucco Bruce in orange and white, a league spokesman says they've long been among the bottom third.
Oh, look at this.
Hair, buddy.
Uh-oh. Why'd you buy that one?
Tradition. I just don't like the new logos, and just think this one's it.
Well, not anymore. This one did, and you better get used to it. I'll tell you, a lot of people have a little bit of a problem with the skull and the cross swords here. They also say that our new baseball team coming is the Devil Rays. Now we have a skull on the NFL team's new logo, but I'll tell you what, get used to it, folks. It's here to stay. John and Kelly.
We're going to see some orange and then the new color, the new pewter.
The only orange you can see right there, the old football.
Yeah, that's right. But a lot of people are still going to be wearing their orange shirts and their orange
There's a
hats.
lot of it out there still.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
I like that pewter myself. The new logo is just part of the Bucs story tonight. The other is the new stadium and the money needed to keep it building. The money runs out next week because of that lawsuit that we've been telling you about. And today a divided county commission talked about the options. One possible solution, use money raised by the community investment tax just for the stadium and then borrow money for other projects that the tax would have paid for. But that does not sit well with some county commissioners. The commission's going to have to make a decision soon on this because the other option is just to stop building.
That the convention center was overwhelmingly positive. Our Rob Stone spoke to the men who will.
Good? Oh, I feel great because I look good.
They're awesome, aren't they? They are pretty sure. What's your favorite feature of the new uniforms?
I don't think I really have one. That's what's cool about the colors, the combinations. You put anything on, it matches, and it goes well together.
Have you got yourself looking in the mirror yet going, all right, the new red, I look all right, the pewter's good?
I'll have to admit, I'm very much a traditionalist, and I hate to see us change, but I do like the red better on us. I think as a coaching staff, we're going to look better on the sideline.
That's all you care about, right? Who cares about the wins as long as you look good?
No, we got to get some wins, too, but we want to look good doing it.
Our number one goal still, and what we're really focused on is getting better this offseason. We've been working very hard and getting prepared to win in these new uniforms.
And you haven't lost in them yet.
We have not lost in, and it's hopefully they'll last for a long time. What people see or perceive will be different. They won't view us as the same old Bucs. They'll be like, man, those guys have really changed. But, you know, we've changed over the course of last season. We're ready for battle, so bring them on.
All right, now, thanks a lot, Rob. I spoke to several former Bucs, Scott Brantley, John Cannon, James Wilder, and we all agree it is a fantastic look. Let's turn to hockey. The Bucs.
There's Gator Orange. They're reigning national champions. There's Hurricane Orange. They've been national champions. So what's the deal with Buccaneer Orange? Whatever it is no more. Welcome to the age of red, black, and pewter.
One of the things we talked about doing when we came as a new coaching staff was changing the attitude, changing the atmosphere, and that has as much to do with the fans and the community as the players. And I think the new look is going to give us that new attitude, new atmosphere in the community. Now it's up to us to play.
You know,
exemplifies us, how we're going to change this team around, and we're going to become a winning team. And from the top to the bottom, we're going to work hard.
From now on, opponents will be looking across the line at helmets bearing the likeness not of Bucko Bruce, but a skull and crossed swords.
Now, you know, we have, I think, the hottest uniform in the league. We finished up the season playing some of the hottest football in the league. You know, we have, you look across the board, we have positives. It'll change the look at one Buck, too, and just everything will be different, and I think it'll kind of put everybody in a refreshing state of mind.
In fact, the new look here at One Buck is already starting to take shape with a fresh coat of red paint on the building and a new flag that will soon fly over the complex. All we need now is a championship banner to go along with it. Frank Robertson, Fox 13, Eyewitness Sports.
And merchandise sales went crazy. One store in Brandon sold 600 T-shirts, 600 in 2 hours. And Nutmeg Mills says they sold more Buck clothing today than they did the entire season.
Red flag. So that was one of the things we started with, and then we worked from there. And we looked at other designs, too, but that we always came back to that design. It's truly the definition of the Buccaneer.
We called a number of stores that sell sports merchandise around the area tonight to check on business. Nobody sold out yet, but all say they are very busy. If you want to jump in, here's what it'll cost you to be a well-dressed Buck fan now. You can get a hat for about $16. There's a variety of shirts. A T-shirt will cost you $17. A polo shirt about $50. For cooler days, there's a long-sleeve denim shirt for $48. And so you're not late for the game, a Buccaneer watch. That'll run you anywhere from $50 to $170. Question now is whether there's any point hanging on to good old Bucko Bruce.
Oh, now that the Bucs are changing the colors and the logo, can you still find him? And if you did, would anybody really want him? 10 News reporter Bill McGinty's over at One Buck Place with more. Bill?
Well, Sue, I think Bucko Bruce will always have a home here in Tampa Bay. The question is, can you find Bucko Bruce? We looked high and low in stores all over Tampa Bay tonight. The only thing we could find was this $4 rain poncho. We were hoping for a sweatshirt, maybe a T-shirt, maybe even a jacket, but after all, Sue, they had to throw out the old to make way for the new.
That new Buccaneer logo seems to be going over well. That's if you're using purchasing power as a local barometer for success. Sales have been steady all day for hats, shirts, anything with that new logo.
I love this logo like that. It is so neat.
You like the old one, too?
Nah. It was ugly.
But what about good old Bucko Bruce, the face that carried Tampa Bay through 21 seasons of football? Many say they will keep the old Buck look if for no other reason than posterity.
Gonna hang on to your old Buccaneer stuff?
Probably. I'll probably still wear it to the games and everything. I'll probably wear both the new and the old stuff.
Which one do you like better?
Probably the old.
Yeah, it's on the attic in a box. But one day, you know, when they start winning, it'll come back out and probably go in my son's room.
And if you want that old look, good luck. It's slim pickings in the stores.
We're going to hold on to the old merchandise and hope that there are some nostalgic fans out there that still love Bucko Bruce.
Sue, now the question, is this going to be worth anything? Well, maybe in 10 years, if I'm lucky, I'll get my $4 back, so I'm not going to hold my breath. But hold on to those Bucko Bruce helmets, jerseys, T-shirts. Maybe down the road they will be worth something. Sue?
I don't know. If it rains tonight, that might come in handy.
Right. I was thinking about modeling it. It was just a quick thought.
Oh, just a quick one. Thanks, Bill. Bill McGinty reporting. Nutmeg Mills, by the way, a major local paraphernalia manufacturer, expected to deliver 5 times as many Buck items today as it did all of last year. While the Bucks' new look is certain tonight, the same can't be said about the new stadium. Construction money runs out in just 2 weeks. Hillsborough commissioners decided today to ask the Glazers to go along with the court's decision and give up the first $2 million in non-Buck revenue. When they get an answer from the Glazers, the commission will then rule on what to do about interim funding for the stadium.
And that is my fashion statement for the night. And now back to Bob and Gail.
Thank you, Chris.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chris.
Thank you.
A new image.
All right, Gary, thank you. Runs being scored everywhere except in this ballpark, where the Astros and the Braves have been tied since the...
Of what's going on in the neighborhood.
And even if crime here...
I need the Hinkie file fax to the home office and get me a great throw. Got to make contact as a hitter, but against Billy Wagner and that 96-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs, that's not the easiest thing to do. New battery for the Braves.
Yep. Eddie Perez takes over behind the plate on Alan Embry, the left-hander. He came over from Cleveland along with Lofton. And
He'll face the middle part of the Houston order with Bagwell, Jeff Bagwell leading off.
Bobby Cox went for broke, but he's out of players right now, although he does have some fairly decent hitters in his pitching staff, mainly Tom Glavine.
Bagwell sends one into right, carrying toward the corner, and Jones is there to make the catch just short of the track.
So accurate, mind and body rest assured. Clear Blue Easy.
He's a DC cop. She's a Secret Service agent. They tracked a killer to the first family's front door.
These people can make us disappear.
Undead. Murder at 1600. Rated R. Starts Friday, April 18th.
This is your last chance. Buick LeSabre, the car you made the best-selling full-size automobile 5 straight years and counting, is returning the favor. Until April 15th, buy a new LeSabre. Buick will give you...
Relax a little bit, have a few laughs, take a deep breath before the rigors of the Masters. Oh, yeah, that's a fact.
And Charlie's kind of cute, too.
ABC Late Night tonight.
On Nightline, life in outer space may no longer be the stuff of science fiction.
And on PI,
Can a woman actually cry her way to the top?
Nothing really is attractive so much as a woman with a really great set of tears.
Nightline and Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. ABC Late Night tonight. Announcing something worth staying up for.
When things get a little slow. They keep caddy uniforms on hand for just these occasions when a dad wants his child to help out. But where in the world did they find one large enough to fit David Robinson?
That's a good question. You ought to ask Corey that, because I was fairly close. You know, it was only up above my socks, so that was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
The serious work begins again on Thursday. If there is one man who has learned how to conquer the problems here, it is the defending champion Nick Faldo, whose mental game seems almost as sharp as his physical ability. It can be like entering a painting, like stepping into a majestic Monet, surrounded by color, enveloped by the brilliance of spring at Augusta National. But sometimes, as you stop to smell the flowers and breathe the southern air, you find yourself smelling something else, a game lost in thought. Perhaps that, as much as anything else, can explain Nicholas Alexander Faldo's remarkable hold on the Masters. For in his very mechanical approach, locked in his very own focused world, he might as well be in the dead of winter. He has played at a dozen.
2 balls and no strikes.
And has won 3 of them, finished in the top 27 times. The thought of another journey up Magnolia Lane is never far from Nick Faldo's mind.
You're always on countdown for the Masters. I think probably, you know, as soon as you start deciding your schedule for, you know, the new year, what you want to do, you're always planning to make sure you've got enough ready for Augusta. And so this year is no different. And I don't think because I'm defending, I'm trying to do anything different. I'm not trying to work harder or anything. I'm just trying to prepare myself. You know, and things have gone well. I've worked hard. I started preparing in December. Just to play better. And, I won at LA. That was great.
That he returns as the defending champion makes it even more special. For the first time, he came to Augusta.
3-3 headed into the bottom of the 12th.
Mama said every day like this still.
Of the Bucs' bold new look just revealed today. We opened up our 28 talkback line, and here's what some of you had to say.
I believe it's the best-looking uniform in the NFL.
I think it's awesome. About time that they change the colors. I think new colors could be a new attitude.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. They should leave the logo the way that it was.
I think it's great. I like the red. It'll be a lot stronger for them.
I think they're mean-looking, and it's going to help the team. I think the Bucs will just command more respect on the field now, like us true fans know that they deserve.
Much more, including what fashion critic Mr. Blackwell thinks about the new look. Coming up in a minute.
That's aircraft quality, isn't it?
I like it. The more I look at it, the more I like it.
No,
Absolutely
I like the white.
hated it at first, and now I love it like a few hours later.
I like the white uniform. They show
Yeah, that's
that.
cool. We're going to show you
that
more
looks
of that.
nice.
We'll see more of that.
All right.
Relax for a minute.
Okay, I'll calm down.
Hi, everybody. So what do you think? Tell me the truth. Black trim, skull and cross swords, orange football. Hope you like it, because it's going to be everywhere you look. Oh, yes, the Buccaneers Buccaneers unveiled their brand new logo, helmet, and uniforms today. First change of wardrobe in franchise history. Check it out. Primary colors are red and pewter. Secondary colors are black and orange. It's a complete overhaul, and I think they look terrific.
Awesome. More than what I expected. They're appealing. We feel comfortable. I mean, it's just, you can't even, you know, tell the feeling of how you feel when you put the uniform on compared to the last one.
Well, it turns out Bucko Bruce isn't gone after all. He's back, right there on the helmet, only this time he's dead. 3 different uniforms to mix and match, opening to mostly rave reviews. I say mostly because world-famous fashion guru Mr. Blackwell, the guy who authors Hollywood's best and worst dress list, isn't so convinced that cuter is cuter.
Okay, the logo is disastrous. Absolutely a disaster. What are they trying to sell? Terror? Death?
We kind of like it.
Well, that's your problem. I mean, maybe, Drew, maybe you're into sadism and masochism. I don't happen to think crossbones and a skull is any way for kids to idolize a ball team.
First pitch, 357 days away. Devil Rays countdown. We're bigger. We're cuter. We're better. We're pewter.
False pewter is an NFL original. Marty.
Thank you, Drew.
Brendan.
Now, wait, if I say false, it's been used before?
That's right.
I'll say false.
Stan.
I'll say Drew.
The correct answer is Drew. In the National Football League's 78-year history, no other team has ever claimed pewter as a primary color. How about that? True or false? Because if it ain't Drew, it's got to be false. I'm Drew Swisher, and let's go pewter.
So they probably used it under a different name. They probably
Whoa,
used charcoal.
can you get a shot of that, baby? Look at this.
Or silver.
Brand new polo shirt.
Very nice.
With the Tampa Bay Bucs logo on them are tonight's prize.
Very nice.
They are sweet.
I would have tried harder if I knew there were shirts involved there.
Can you
You'll
get
have nothing and you'll like it.
Can you get this in a small for me, please?
Only large.
First round, the New York Jets have traded with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is now on the clock. The Jets obtained Tampa Bay's pick in the first round, which is the 8th choice overall, and Tampa Bay's pick in the 4th round, which is the 104th choice overall. Tampa Bay is now on the clock.
Well, Bill Parcells lost those draft picks when they went over to the Jets as a result of getting out of his Patriots obligations. They now picked up more than they have lost. So the Bucs move up 2 spots. It cost them a 4th. Now let's check in with Andrea Kramer. Good afternoon, Andrea.
Hello, Chris. We'll try this again. Thank you. Tampa is not going to stay at the 6th pick, however. They have traded down to number 12. That's Seattle's spot, and they're going to, Tampa will get their Seattle's 3rd round pick, which is number 63. So Seattle will now be making the pick at 6. It's very confusing, but the Bucs, I think, feel that there were a number of players that they would like, and if they were all falling down, that they feel that they could get that value a little bit later. So it looks like Seattle will be making the pick, and Tampa will now be at 12. Chris, back to you, New York.
Well, my goodness, they came in the league together, the Seahawks and the Buccaneers, and it's only fitting that they do business together here in the first round. These 2 teams are the 2 teams with the 2 first-round picks. Here's the tales of what
With the 6th pick in the first round acquired from the New York Jets, Tampa Bay has traded with Seattle. So Seattle now is on the clock. Tampa Bay acquired Seattle's pick in the first round, which is the 12th selection overall, and Atlanta's pick in the 3rd round, which Seattle had previously acquired, which is the 63rd selection overall. So Seattle is now on the clock.
All right, so let's recap here. Welcome to Trader Vic's. We'll have a pina colada at Trader Vic's, and his hair was perfect. I'm not talking about you, Mel. It's a line from Warren Zevon. Well, this is an involved story with Seattle. Let's talk about Walter Jones first, but then let me give you the background of how a political vote that didn't happen yesterday affected these moves today. All right, but Hank Goldberg, are we ready up there? Is in the Pacific Northwest. Top of the morning to you, Hank. And I guess the fish are swimming upstream, aren't they?
Yes, they are, Chris. Dennis Erickson told me last night that this was his objective.
Started the day with 2 picks in the first round. They only had to drop down 4 spots, but they gained a 3rd rounder. So they'll be picking at 12, but they still could drop down a few spots before they choose again at 16. Could be talking about a wide receiver, Yatil Green or Ray Caruth. Right now, let's go to Linda Cohn in New Orleans.
They're on the clock right now. 7 minutes plus to go. And my God, they've gotten rid of those orange unis, which we've grown to love over the years. Here's the new Buccaneer helmet. My goodness. War room with the skull and crossbones going there. The new look of the Bucs. Tony Dungy in there trying to change things around. Let's go to Andrea Kramer. Andrea, what do they got on their minds? Offense.
You're right, Chris. No question about that. Tony Dungy told me this morning, we need weapons. We need to score points. No question about that. They are the worst ranked. They were the lowest scoring offense in the league last year. A lot of talk I just mentioned about the wide receivers, Yatil Green and Ray Caruth, but there was some question about which one they would prefer. I think, though, that they may, won't be surprised because it was on many people's boards, Warrick Dunn, the running back. I think they could go for him. And what they would have would be a change-up. They have been a team that runs inside the tackle. Certainly Dunn is a totally different threat than that. A little bit of concern about his size, but he has been productive, and that's been the main concern for them. I don't think they wanted to look at potential as much as production. So I think it could be Warrick Dunn here for the Buccaneers at 12, finally making their pick. Chris Berman, back to you in New York.
Well, certainly, Andrea, that would be an intriguing pick if they took Warrick Dunn without any other running backs gone. A lot of question. He's a great player, but could he be on the field all the time? Well, with 2 picks in the first round, maybe you could take a couple of different guys that can stretch the field. And you heard Mel, as Andrea mentioned, only 221 points scored last year for Tampa Bay. They've got to move the ball. They kind of like the way their quarterback, Trent Dilfer, came on in the second half of the year. Is it receiver? And who would it be? If the burner Caruth or the bigger guy, 6'2"?
Well, they also have the 16th pick, Chris. They have to come away with a wide receiver with one of these 2 picks. They need to give Dilfer some more weapons. You have Copeland coming off an injury. Yatil Green, 6'2½", 210 pounds with great speed. You don't see physical ability in a wide receiver that often like Yatil Green. Ray Caruth is a burner. Those 2 kids figure to go right in this general area. And like I said, I can't emphasize enough, Trent Dilfer, to continue his development, needs players like Yatil Green.
I think the other thing you have to take a look at is familiarity also is a very good thing to have. For example, Charlie Williams, who was the wide receiver coach at the University of Miami, is now on Tony Dungy's staff. So you've got a wide receiver coach who knows Yatil Green as the individual that I think would be a very good pick for them. You need the guys who have the ability to get down the field. Their wide receivers, Rob Thomas, for example. You've got Alvin Harper is another one. Carl Williams. You've got Marvin Marshall, Courtney Hawkins, Horace Copeland. When you look at that wide receiver core, you know that they need somebody who can get down the field in a hurry. Alvin Harper basically has been a big bust, and I'd be shocked if he's back in Tampa. He might move on someplace else. Could obviously maybe even wind back up with the Dallas Cowboys as a possibility, but he's not going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I think a wide receiver would be a good choice. Although, Chris, you did mention Warrick Dunn. The question on this kid is, can he block, if need be, the big guys on first and second down? I think he can. I think this kid can be a 3-down back. I compare him a lot to Napoleon Kaufman with the Oakland Raiders.
Not quite as big as Kaufman.
But I still think he has that ability.
Well, that's one name we could hear. Running back, we mentioned 12 and 16. Maybe, Mel, we can look at the running back.
Well, I think we haven't
had one yet.
Well, Chris, I think we have to see with Tampa Bay about Eric Rhett. He's coming up last year of his contract. They want to restructure things. Eric Rhett's there. Warrick Dunn blends in very well. You can get him and flank him out as a wide receiver. He's got tremendous hands. Corey Dillon's a 222-pounder, real strong kid. Antoine Smith, we know about his productivity this year at Houston. Warrick Dunn's really a wild card because he does so many things well. Hanspard to over 2,000 yards this past year. And Cedric Shaw, I think, is very comparable to a Curtis Martin. You see a lot of those spin moves, very creative runner, and I think Cedric Shaw is going to be a good second or third round pick for somebody.
I got to think if they look size, and I don't know that, Green and Smith. Green, the wide receiver, Smith, the running back, would be their picks. And, well, we'll know in a second. Yeah. Antoine Smith, the only question about him is he's, 24, 25 years of age already. There's not a question right now. It'd be a question 4 or 5 years from now when he'll already be 30-year-old running back. But he is one great physical specimen at running back. And I got to think Tampa Bay comes away with him in one of these 2 picks. Here's their first pick, 12th pick overall. Let's go to the commissioner. Bay, Tampa Bay, the Bucs are going to shine. Turning things around with Tony Dungy. They're on their way, I believe.
With the 12th pick in the first round, Tampa Bay selects Warrick Dunn, running back, Florida State.
Well, Joe, they obviously feel
The
he's
Houston Oilers are now on the clock.
Well, I think Andrea put it very well, Chris. What you're looking at, you look at potential in some people. You know, you got potential in Yatiel Green and a little bit of production. He's been nicked a lot, hasn't played a lot of football at the college level. But when Warrick Dunn, I mean, Bobby Bowden took this young man under his wing at a very difficult time, losing his mom, who was a police officer. And really, this kid has seen hard times, hard-working, wonderful young man, a perfect kind of a character individual for Tony Dungy, but also a terrific opportunity for somebody to get the football to for Trent Dilfer. And that's what Tony wants to do. He wants to surround his quarterback with people who can make plays.
Is this not a questionable bit, because let's face it, Warrick Dunn's one of our favorite players in the draft. There's no question about that. There are little guys that can block. I mean, Emmitt Smith's a little bit bigger than Warrick Dunn. He's an excellent blocker. Walter Payton could block. He's smaller than that, but do you have questions there?
No, I think this is a great pick for Tampa Bay. They need weapons. They need all-purpose creativity, and I think you're talking about a guy who can catch the ball like a wide receiver, Chris, down the field. What he's not is a return man. He only had 4 kickoff returns as a true freshman, nothing the rest of his career. If he can expand his game a little bit and be a return man, he can add to his value a little bit. Having Rhett, having Allstott, now you can feature in a guy who you can flank out. You give defensive coordinators a headache trying to prepare for this offense, especially knowing that you also have a 16th pick coming up.
I think, Joe, a word you mentioned is production. 38 touchdowns in a college career for a diminutive back. 7.5 yards a carry as a year ago, 1995. I would say that's production. Let's go up to Chris Fowler and company.
Thank you. I'm with Mike Godfrey. We've seen Warrick Dunn a lot over the last 4 years. Bobby Bowden called him the favorite player he's ever coached. A quiet guy, but a guy who could be a leader in the huddle when it was required, when the chips were down, and also a guy who saved his best games for the big games. He got more carries, he got more catches against the Floridas and the Miamis, Mike.
Well, your team's better because of his character when he enters the locker room. He's not just a third down back. He has great change of direction. Here he gets against the flow of the linebackers. You see him going for the touchdown. I think Jerry Angelo and Tony Dungy have a great pick on their hands with Warrick Dunn. He has great quickness here in the shotgun and acceleration when he gets the ball. See him accelerate into the secondary and run away from people, and he has a toughness, and he has a feel of defenders. Pass blocking's not a problem. Barry Sanders is only 5'8". 200 pounds. Here's a good block. He takes a lot of pride in his pass blocking. Here's the hidden value. A running back that can go downfield and make catches downfield. He has soft hands, Chris. I think this is a great football player that I followed for the years here at ESPN, and I think it's a great choice by Tampa Bay.
You made the comparison to Barry Sanders, but he was a lot heavier, let's be fair, than Warrick Dunn is coming out of college at less than 180 pounds. But you say an every down back, he can block the pass rush if he has to?
He's an every down back, and let's go back to the Super Bowl when Desmond Howard was the most valuable player in the Super Bowl returning kicks. Warrick Dunn can return kicks for you also. You got a package here. This Tampa Bay is going to be very happy with him.
We'll see if Tony Dungy is happy. He's with Andrea Kramer down at the Buccaneer headquarters. Andrea?
That's right, Chris. It's the main guy that we care matters if he likes Warrick Dunn, and no question, he is a Dungy guy. Why Warrick Dunn?
Well, as you mentioned, you know, we need points, and this guy probably can put points on the board as well as anybody we felt in the draft, and we're excited about the different ways we'll be able to use him, get him the ball, and give our offense some big plays.
What are the different ways you can use him? Because one would think it might be just as a third down back.
Well, I don't think so. I think he has the ability to return kicks and get the ball that way. He can also play some on first down when you want to throw the ball, and we don't preclude him running the ball on first down. He's a tough guy.
Boy, last year you drafted Mike Allstott, and I said, was that a message to Eric Rhett? Now you're drafting Warrick Dunn. Is this a message to Eric Rhett, who, once again, wants to redo his contract?
No, it's not a message to Eric at all. We're happy with him, and he's been here working out. We got Warrick for his ability to put the ball in the end zone, and that's what we feel good about.
Is the size a concern?
Not really. You know, you obviously like bigger guys, but he's been tough. He's run the ball against great competition, and he's had his best games in the big games, and that's what you like.
So if you stay at 16, and actually, have you had some calls about the 16th pick?
We really have. We've had quite a few people calling about that pick. We're not sure what we're going to do, but we are entertaining calls right now.
And If he stays at 16, I think they could look for more points to be scored, more offensive weapons. Right now, let's go to Chris Fowler in the studio.
Andrea, a couple of wide receivers watching this draft, Yatil Green and Ray Caruth. Tampa certainly had been interested in both of them in conversations. Those guys sweating because they've slid a little bit. Will they go at number 16? 12 picks down, 228 to go. Not all of them today, but the Houston Oilers.
All at one moment to move up to get the Jets pick. It cost them a 4th-round pick. However, from 6, they went down to 12 in a trade with the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks took Walter Jones, and so they gave up a 4, but they got a 3, and they also got Warrick Dunn to pick in the 12 slot. This now a pick they obtained last year from Bobby Beathard to the San Diego Chargers. The Chargers gave up this year's one to take Brian Still, a wide receiver last year, who they expect big things from this season. An injury plague really was never on the field, but it can be on the field all the time.
Yes, they do, Chris. I think the big play receiver to give Dilfer that weapon, Ray Caruth. Certainly another player that would fit in pretty well when we roll it a little bit is Tarek Glenn, an offensive tackle from Cal, to protect Trent Dilfer, who's not a mobile quarterback. So you have a lot of value still there, but Caruth, the speed guy. We see Tarek Glenn, the big offensive tackle, 331-pounder. I think those two players would make the most sense at this point for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
About 6.5 minutes to go on the pick. You think they were a little stunned? Not stunned, but...
No, I don't think they were necessarily stunned, Boom. I think Yatil Green would have been an excellent choice then. We talked about Charlie Williams joining that staff. He knows him, of course. So does Butch Davis, and we know Jimmy Johnson's relationship with Butch. So you had a lot of family sort of working together here. I still think that a wide receiver is a good pick for Tampa Bay here. I mean, you take a look at the wide receivers, for example, that they've had. I mean, you've got some people that really don't run that fast. Rob Thomas, Horace Copeland, Alvin Harper, Courtney Hawkins. I think you get Caruth, who's been the fastest in the draft. He gives you somebody that goes down the field. Now you got a playmaker in Warrick Dunn, and then all of a sudden now you get a guy like Caruth going down the field.
You also have Riddell Anthony from Florida.
Right,
Blake Hilliard went 7th overall to the New York Giants. Riddell Anthony from Florida, similar to Hilliard, dropped a little bit, but he's still here for Tampa Bay. It would be a good hometown pick for Tony Dungy, but I have to believe Jimmy Johnson saw a lot of Michael Irvin and Yatil Green, and I think that's certainly a nice addition for the Dolphins.
Yep. The pick is coming in. They seem happy in Tampa Bay. There's no turning back now, is there?
This is it.
Some folks are really surprised, Mel. Maybe you are too, that Caruth is already down to 3 or lower for wide receivers. He is the fastest in the draft. Let's see if he's quick enough to go to the big sombrero. Go to the commissioner. And, well, Tony's smiling, so it can't be all bad. 2 first-round picks in the top 16. The Buccaneers, folks, are on the way with Tony Dungy. I know they lost 10 again. That's not going to happen again this year. That'll end a streak that goes back all the way to 1983. Commissioner.
With the 16th pick in the first round, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Riddell Anthony, wide receiver from the University of Florida.
Well, right position, that's for sure. So the Florida receivers have gone.
The Washington Redskins are now on the clock.
Riddell Anthony, Mel, last year, 1 season. I know in Florida they score all the points with Werfel, etc. 18 touchdowns last season alone as a receiver. Wow.
Well, I think just like Hilliard, you're seeing a kid here that has great ability after the catch. You know, he's a big play guy, had an outstanding senior campaign, or junior campaign, I should say. 72 receptions, 18-yard average. We watch him here, and you see the explosiveness out of his cuts, just accelerates past those defensive backs and pulls in the football. There's a lot of experience catching the ball. See him here in the open field. You see a lot of the same things that we saw earlier with Ike Hilliard in Riddell Anthony. It was basically a toss-up all year between these two. Fade round again against Deshae Townsend. Similar type of highlight from Anthony to Hilliard. Of course, Hilliard went 7th. The Buccaneers got Anthony at 16. So they're coming out of a spur-year offense. We're going to have some adjustments to make. But certainly the Buccaneers had to get a wide receiver for Trent Dilfer. And they also have Warrick Dunn, who can also split wide, both from Florida. Florida State with Dunn, Florida with Anthony. Made a lot of sense for Tony Dungy to go offense with those 2 picks.
11 straight games with at least 1 touchdown pass.
You know, the other thing, too, Boom, is as you look through this entire draft through the 16 picks, I think a lot of people have got a lot of things they like. I think they feel real good about it. And that's the big thing.
Well, let's go around the league. We're into the second half of the first round. Let's start with Mark Malone.
Buccaneers with the 12th and 16th selections, big play capabilities. Wide receiver Riddell Anthony, they just took with the 16th pick, and Warrick Dunn, the running back from Florida State. Tony Dunn.
Warrick Dunn and 16. Riddell Anthony, so 2 offensive players. The next 5 teams, Tampa Bay on the clock now, then Dick Vermeil and the St. Louis Rams, New Orleans, Chicago, and Atlanta. And one of the trades that their second round pick that they got involved in that swap of the first round pick with Seattle. So now we're 37-41, Mel. Now what do we do here in New York?
Well, we got a lot of quality still left, Chris. I think a lot of good football players still on the board. And I think when you look around at who's still there and you look at Tampa Bay, they certainly have needs in the secondary. Jerry Wunsch, the big offensive tackle from Wisconsin. Of course, they had great success with Paul Gruber, formerly of Wisconsin as well. Wunsch 6'5" to 328 pounds. Talked about the cornerback still. They also got to take a look at the best available players. Corey Dillon. I think he would look good in the New Orleans Saint uniform. Marcellus Wiley, of course, an outstanding pass rusher. Wunsch, like I said, would be a nice addition to Tampa Bay. Jason Taylor, he needs to go to a 3-4 team. That kind of limits the amount of teams that would be interested in Jason Taylor. If we roll it to the next group, Will Blackwell, very underrated receiver. Ryan Tucker, he would have been a first, but he had January 2nd, he had knee surgery, which is going to push him down a little bit. And, of course, Tyrus McLeod, if you're looking for a pure inside back or middle linebacker, McLeod fits the bill.
So Tampa Bay on the clock. They've got about a little under 3 minutes to go. Remember, in the second round, you have 10 minutes to pick. Third round and beyond, you have 5 minutes per pick. They were too, along with Seattle, had a pair of first-round picks. And Tony Dungy, I know they lost 10 games again last year, but this is going to be the last time. They're not going to get. They're not going to have that. They have a good defense, and of course, with Tony Dungy, he knows what he's doing. We talked offense. Is there a defensive slot now that he looks for? Or does he keep loading up on Dilfer's side of the ball?
I think he's got what he wants on Dilfer's side of the ball. Now he looks for value. Now he's looking for guys who can come in, play a little bit later on, maybe fill in. I think he's in real comfortable shape. I mean, you look at the record, the first 5 games, 0-5. That was partly his offensive struggles. Really, the defense kept them in the games as little as they were in them. They kept them in them. Then they go 6-5 in the back half. They go from 27th to 11th, 25th to 15 in points scored, or points on the defense given up. And then the total 337 yards versus 284. All you're going to do is see Tony Dungy football teams get better. He's got to feel real comfortable now with what he has on the offensive side of the ball. Where he wants to go on the defensive side of the ball probably is where he'll go. And if you take a look at the war room, there's going to be a little activity for a change down there. I mean, they're looking, they're thinking, they've got an idea what they want to do. You know, everybody's standing now. It's that time of the day. They've been sitting down for a little while. Now it's time to get up and move around a little bit.
I'd like to see a little more orange, though, still. I mean, I actually go for the new helmets and stuff. I could have that red. They could have a little more orange. I mean, there's such a legacy of that orange football uniform in Tampa Bay history.
I love the orange pants. I did
the orange pants.
No, I like the orange pants. I thought the pants, but this, I mean, look at that. It's a great look. Maybe they could make the ball just a little bit more orange. That would give it just a little.
The ball, I don't know that they can control the ball, but there they are. I mean, yeah, kind of. Here's the old
Vinny. There's old Vinny. That is a relic now. Vinny in a Tampa Bay uniform, a collector's item.
Well, yeah. Save that picture. I kind of like the buck up there. I just really do. But I think they did okay. The Denver uniforms. Later on, we're going to bring Tom Jackson in to discuss those because. I don't know, very USFL-ish. I don't know. I don't know.
World League.
Sorry, Pat. At any rate, we're not discussing uniforms. We're discussing picks by the Bucs. Let's go up to the podium. Gene Washington gets the card. Is it time?
With the 37th selection, Tampa Bay has selected offensive tackle Jerry Wunsch from Wisconsin. St. Louis is on the clock.
Now, Dr. Jerry Wunsch.
He is going to load up on the offensive side. I mean, you know, last year was basically a defensive way he went about it. Now, all of a sudden, he's going to load up on the offensive side.
We're getting too much value here, Joe. You got a big kid. You know, you're talking about 6'5½", 328 pounds, a right tackle, very experienced. You know what you're getting. I think the fact that he couldn't play left tackle maybe pushed him in into the second round. Very physical performer, a mountain of a man. I mean, it's a $20 cab ride to get around him when you're coming off the corner.
Certainly in New York.
But, I mean, this kid is very experienced in the Big Ten. I think everybody knows what they're getting. You plug him in at right tackle, he could be a big guard for you. He gives you some options there. And like I said, if he would have had some left tackle capabilities, you would have been probably looking at a mid-first rounder. So, yeah, Tampa Bay, at this point in the draft, great value. Like I said, they got Paul Gruber from this same program a few years back and had great success with Gruber. They need another offensive tackle to throw into the mix. They got Jason Odom. They like him last year out of Florida. But I think Wunsch is one of the real steals right now of the draft.
So Wunsch to Tampa Bay, 3 offensive players with their first 3 picks inside the first 37. St. Louis, New Orleans, Chicago, Atlanta. We'll be back.
Yeah, look, I better circulate.
Hit the hole harder, had his head down. Having his head up on that play enabled him to find that hole.
Autry, 4th-round draft pick, making his 3rd start of the season. First down, Bears from their own 34-yard line. Tony Carter in motion. Quick drop, and the quick slant is complete to the tight end, John Allred, for a gain of 5 yards.
Allred, of course, is the Bears' rookie draft pick, playing at tight end. They actually let Keith Jennings go towards the end of this season because they said, look, we talked to Dave Wanstead yesterday. He said, look, we've got to get this young guy to play. He's got